the committees continue to meet, I have the honor and privilege of introducing your next speaker. As I introduced him to the Republican advance shortly after his election, I'll keep it short and sweet. I just want to tell you two stories. When I was a couple years older than old Robert Hurt, when Robert came here to Hampden-Sydney, the rest of us Hampden-Sydney boys kind of looked him up and down, and what we noticed is he was taller than us, he was better looking than us, and had better hair than we did. Still does. So naturally we hated him. But he was such a standout here at Hampden-Sydney. I think a lot of Hampden-Sydney guys named the first child after Robert Hurt. I think the story I'll tell you is when I was running for to replace Robert, actually moved into the 20th district this summer. We were at a great Pennsylvania County fundraiser. And you know how Robert's late to every event, right? Like right now, he's like, oh, I got to get out of here. I mean, so Robert shows up late, and I had a guy named Andrew Armentrout both worked on my campaign. He worked previously on Robert's campaign. And Robert walks up to Andrew and says, Andrew, you doing the work of the Lord? And Andrew looks at him and says, nah, I'm working for Bill Stanley. Right back there. Ladies and gentlemen, Robert Hurt has been a great congressman. And he's a heck of a change from Tom Perriello, isn't he? Three study groups have found that he is the most conservative Republican in the Virginia delegation of congressmen. And it shows why, because he represents our values and our principles. And have you ever seen anybody who cares more about you, individually? I mean, I'm so tired of seeing those pictures on Facebook at every place he's at. It's a wonder he doesn't weigh 300 pounds because half of them are in delicatessens and roadside places to eat. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I am privileged and honored to introduce to you our 5th District Congressman and our next 5th District Congressman, our great friend, Robert Hurt.
I was so happy, as I always am, when I wake up in my own bed in Southside Virginia, which happens. This morning we woke up and head up here to this great occasion. And as we rode through Pennsylvania County, Halifax County, Campbell County, Charlotte County, ended up here in Prince Edward County, I could not help but be reminded that this is a day that the Lord has made, and let us rejoice. Amen. To be an American, it's a great day to be a Virginian, and it's a great day to be a Republican in the 5th District. I want to thank each of you all for being here today, for caring so much about your country, that you are willing to do what it takes. Do what it takes to take our country back from the cliff that over which we are headed. I want to thank you for all of the hard work that you all have done, not just over the last year, last 2 years, last 4 years, but all the work that you've done throughout your lifetime for getting us to this place. Because this is an important crossroads in our history. Make no mistake about it. We all know that, and that's why we're here. I want to first welcome, along with Bill, I want to welcome those new counties into the 5th that we have with us today. Fauquier County, welcome. Hampden County, thank you guys. I see Jim Rich over here. I was recently up campaigning in Fauquier County, up in the plains. And in order to get there, I decided to drive through Madison. I drove through the town of Madison. I drove up the back road there. I think it's Crestview Lane, I think it is. It takes you up to Sperryville, then to Washington, then it's Crest Hill Lane. Washington, Little Washington. then up to Flint Hill, up to Marshall. I realized that I was a long way from home when I came around the corner and I actually had to drive underneath Route 66 and ended up at the Plains, where we were proud to be with good folks, good new folks in Fauquier County. And I told them then that I felt, as I went through that beautiful countryside, a little bit like Lewis and Clark. It just seemed like the mountains never ended. And I can tell you, for anyone who has any doubt about whether there's any similarities between Rappahannock County and Madison County and Fauquier County and Lunenburg and Mecklenburg and Pennsylvania and Henry and Bedford and Campbell and all of our southern counties, our central Virginia counties, if anybody has any doubt, make no mistake, we have fine people in those counties who share our conservative values and want the best for this country, share our rural values, and want a change in Washington, D.C. And so I am proud that we are going to be able to represent Fauquier, Madison, Rappahannock in Virginia's 5th District Congressional Seat. When I got home from Washington, as I did late last night, I go out 66. And the boundary for the 5th District is actually now a lot closer than it used to be. It used to be I'd drive to Greene County before I'd be in the 5th District. Now you don't have to go that far. It's about 45 minutes to Fauquier County as I make that trip home. And I can tell you it was something that was so delightful. As I drove down through Madison County, I started to see something I'd never seen in Madison County before. A giant herd of U.S. Congress. And you all may not be tuned into this, and I understand if you're not, but there's a little meeting also going on in the 5th District today over at the Nelson County High School. And guess who's meeting there? The folks that are meeting at the Nelson County High School, probably as we speak, are all the cheerleaders for Barack Obama, Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, and my opponent. They're having their 5th District convention at the Nelson County High School. So you can imagine how excited I was, how pleased I was, how thrilled I was to hit the Nelson County line and see the first herd U.S. Congress. All the way through Nelson County, I must have seen 10 herd U.S. Congress. That's not the end of the story. Nelson County High School, if you've never been to it, is right on the highway. It's right on US 29. You can't miss it. Come up over the hill next to Apple Shed, it's right there, laid out in front of you. Very, very, very visible spot. I saw Steve Kendall and Joel Bailey. Where are they? Right there in the back. I saw them this morning, right when I got here. I said, Steve, I cannot thank you, GOP chair, unit chair. I said, guys, I can't thank you enough for putting those Nelson County fullbacks up. Man, that is going to send a great message to the cheerleaders for Obama. Yeah. He said, what are you talking about? He said, we stopped on the way over here and put 100-yard signs up in the median. That's what it's going to take, friends. That's what it's going to take if we're going to take back our country. It's that kind of commitment and that kind of hard work. You know, as Bill alluded to, 2010 was an important election. It was an election in which the people of the United States, the people of Virginia, the people of the 5th District sent a message to Washington that we don't want $16 trillion in debt. We don't want borrowing at 40 cents a dollar. We don't want $4 a gallon gasoline. And we don't want 8% unemployment. That's not what we want. We don't want cap and trade. We don't want the president's health care bill. And we don't want $1 trillion in stimulus spending. That's what and I can tell you, we worked hard. We worked hard for that election. I thank each one of you. And you all will remember. Let's all be reminded that the other side worked hard too. And we think that the other side worked hard last time, they're going to work even harder this time. We worked hard, we're going to have to work even harder. But do you remember who came in the 3 days prior to the election? Who picked out 435 congressional races? Who came to Charlottesville 3 days before the election? Mr. President Barack Obama came to Charlottesville 3 days before our election. And it might have helped Ariella a little bit. I can tell you it helped us a whole lot too. So let me invite the President. Mr. President, we welcome you to Virginia's 5th District anytime, anywhere. Let me just say a few things that we all already know, and that is that our country was founded in 1776. A lot of folks have found this place very important to us. The first board of trustees at Hampden-Sydney College consisted of Patrick Henry and James Madison. Those were patriots that understood that what we were fleeing from, in Europe was a tyrannical government. And a government that did not recognize what our founders recognized, and that is that our rights as human beings, our rights as Americans, do not derive from government. They do not derive from our fellow citizens, from man, but our rights derive from above. That's what they understood. They understood that and founded this country on those principles of limited government, individual liberty, and free enterprise. And make no mistake, that's what this election is all about. At the end of the day, the choice that the American people have is whether or not we want to go back to the same old of the government is the answer to every problem, unlimited government and limited individual rights and limited freedoms, or do we want free enterprise? Do we want unlimited freedom? Do we want limited government and unlimited opportunity? That's what this election is all about. So as we consider the bar that our forefathers set for us, and that's what it is. Our founders set a bar for us. A bar for us to live up to. As we consider that bar, and as we consider the bar that's been set by every generation since 1776, that has required folks to give of themselves for the cause, with the hope that we leave this place better than we found it, let us live up to that idea. Let us live up to those ideals. Because at some point in the future, it might be 10 years, it might be 20 years, maybe it'll be 30 years. The story is going to be written. The story will be written about this time. The story will be written about this time, and let it be said that when it was our time to deliver our country from crisis, to deliver for our children and grandchildren a stronger America, a freer America, let it be said that we did our part. That's our charge. God bless you. Thank you for the opportunity to represent you.